Hey, I'm outside in the garden doing garden chores today. So I wanted to go over just what's going on around here in January 2019 here in Florida. We got some pepper plants right here. Okay, so I transplanted this little guy. This was one we got from the farmer's market in that tiny little pot, and it's starting to bloom, which is really nice. I gave nutrients to everything in my garden, all the plants in every container in the ground, which is not much in the ground now. Basically have everything growing in containers, and this one's drying out really quick. So this got a little damaged. If you can see the difference between the leaves on it, we pruned this one. This was the one we pruned and didn't let grow all by itself. Usually peppers end up with like 4 tops on them at the very end, and then the peppers ride down them stalks. Well, this one we pruned off at the top before it split, and it's been growing really good. But what's happening is it's drying out way too fast, and that's because of how big it's getting. So I'm gonna have to transplant, and I thought, why not transplant instead of putting it in the ground like that pepper is over there, which it's growing really good, this pepper. You can see all the new blooms and buds on it, and I just don't want too much in the ground because I want to be able to move them around and take them with me when we go. So I want to put it in here. I'm gonna make this a little half pepper tote, maybe some carrots over here, and then that's it for that. I don't know what kind of carrots we're gonna plant yet. I'm just gonna put some nice Coco Loco soft soil in here. I have chunky soil on the bottom because it's a really big container, but this Coco Loco soil brand is really fluffy, so I'm gonna fill it up the rest of the way with that, and then plant some carrots on the side. Why not? And then keep that in that tote, so this way it has a lot of room to grow. And the carrots, as long as I don't plant too many and they're far away from the roots to that pepper, I think I'll be good with the carrots growing. It shouldn't really affect them too much. But this is going to need a lot of water, these ones in the those in the little pots, because they are such in a tiny pot right now that it's just drying out so fast. So I have to water this literally every day. And as you guys know from my other videos, you know, I've suggested if your plant is sucking up water every day and you notice you're watering every day, especially when the weather's cooling down, you know, we're not really cooling down here in Florida. We've been 83 degrees this past 4 days, and now we have 80 today. So we're going to be 80 this whole week, and then we're going to be 60 at night, which is going to be really neat. It's going to go down in the 50s. It's going to be gorgeous. So this is what we live for here in Florida. It's going to be humid, but it's not too bad. It's not like the summertime. So, you know, there's still diseases and stuff that happen in the garden right now. I'm getting aphids like crazy, and I'm getting fungus because it's just the right climate for that to happen. We have a lot of moisture in the air like we always do pretty much all year round. We usually only get a break about, I'd say, February into January, February with the weather. So it doesn't get down to freezing much here, and I can grow a lot all year long, but these are drying out so fast because of how hot it's been. So I really have to watch that water. So I soak it all the way through, soak it again, and then you know, since I have nutrients in here, I'm not going to soak it a third time because I don't want to rinse them nutrients out. That would be like really flushing my plant out. These little peas are starting to do good. These are little marvel peas, guys, so they're starting to flower. And these self-pollinate, so these have both male and female parts inside of each flower, and then they pollinate themselves, so you can grow them indoors, outside, and you can see when they start getting mature, you can see this is on the bottom. This is towards the bottom growth, and there's only 1 flower on here. But you can see as they start maturing and getting bigger, they grow 2 flowers on each part. So this one's starting to flower too. We're doing good. I got 3 in there, and then I'm probably going to plant another one up in here somewhere, and some more peas here. We're just making sure the garden is staying well moist right now. Lots of nutrients, lots of fresh nutrients in the soil we put down before we planted. So we made sure we flipped the soil upside down and put some fresh, nice compost from the garden we made ourselves, and they're blooming. You can see. Look how many blooms. Look how pretty they are. They're nice and purple. And these are self-pollinators as well. I think these are tender green improved. You can see they're really happy. The stalks are straight up. The leaves, you can see the leaves on them. They should be standing up, and that's how you know they're happy. And then I got peas climbing up. I put a stick here, and I'm gonna put sticks on, I got a lot of peas up in here, and these are kind of falling down. See, I have 2 right here. So what I'm gonna do is put a stick on this little guy and put a stick on this guy, and then leave these gals alone. And just, I'm actually gonna put a stick on this girl, I think. So we're gonna put 3 sticks in here to hold those up. These are kind of latching on the green beans, so I'm not really worried. These are all tender green improved, contender beans. One side's contender and one side's tender green improved. So one has white flowers, one has pink. And they're doing good, they're starting to mature, and that just goes to show you in Florida here, we're growing these in January. We planted them in probably November, December, I'd say. And all our peppers are doing good. We're getting a lot of produce, guys. These little peas are doing good. These are actually Alaskan peas. So these, you can tell, just grow and grow and grow and grow. And we got so many peas. So look at our pods. They're starting to get big. We got double pods on each one. Some have triple. And then as far as your stick goes, as far as you will let them grow, they will grow. So you can just let them ride up and ride up. The problem is you can't reach them when they get that high. So I'm only going to grow them this high, but you can see all the little peas growing. And I pulled the other one out. So I had 2 big ones in here. Now the other one I got a couple peas off of, but what happens is sometimes with plants, they were planted at the same time, they were in the same pot, in container, same nutrients, same amount of care. But what happens is sometimes the plants are different. So even though they were out of the same packet, they were planted at the same time, they grew differently. And I pulled that one out because it was just so lanky looking and stalled out. It was only up to here. It was really turning brown, and I was losing a lot of foliage. So this we pruned up. We pruned up the bottom because I'm starting to get a little fungus in the garden because of the weather, the climate. It's just perfect temps right now. So I got to spray with neem, keep on a preventative treatment so the aphids don't go crazy. I got aphids in the garden too that want to sprout too. Powdery mildew. It's all really just coming about right now. It's perfect temps and stuff. So just keep an eye out for that if you're in a place like me in Florida, and pull the dead ones out. So right now we're doing chores today basically. I just want to show you a little quick tour. We're going to go over the rest of the stuff and just pull out the dead. Anything that looks stalled out and that's not growing. I know that's sad to do, but it's going to benefit the rest of the plants in that container because we're utilizing the space to grow our lettuce on the bottom, which beans and peas provide nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium nutrients in the soil on their roots for the other plants you're growing in there, like the lettuce. And it's getting really big. And then we got the radishes growing, snapdragon, and then our strawberry plant doing really well. She's shooting these strawberries out like crazy and getting big. So we know she's good. And I acclimated her out here, so she's getting that full sun. And this is where she's going to stay, I think. We're going to keep her right on that little bench right there. And, you know, you can have a pretty good garden in a small space. This just shows you guys that. Our blueberry, Sunshine Blue Blueberry, she's a dwarf variety, and she's actually a hybrid, and she's blooming right now. She's not supposed to be. She's actually really behind with her season. But you can see all them blooms, and what's going to start to happen is you're going to start getting blueberries on there. See them? They're going to start growing and getting big, so we're going to be harvesting a lot of blueberries off of her. She's going to keep blooming and producing. There's so many bees over here right now, guys, so I really don't want to bother them, but you can see all them nice blooms. I don't want to get stung. It is crazy season for bees right now. Leave them alone. And then this is my blackberry doing really good. Look how much she's trailing out. She is going nuts, guys. And I got 2 more little babies that are growing out of her bottom here. So there's 1 and there's 2 back there. So I got to keep her well watered, well nutrients. And at this stage for these 2 right now, you want to make sure that you have nice drainage in your soil, fresh soil that you topped off with, because it's blooming. It's in the middle of blooming, so it's really important at this stage. And then make sure you're feeding it quite often, just maybe once every 2 weeks, and checking that your soil pH. Make sure that soil pH is correct, because blueberries and blackberries are acidic loving plants. They really like an acidic soil. So just make sure them plants are filled with you know, good acidic soil. Get a soil test kit and you'll be good to go. These radishes doing good, guys. Just show you real quick, everything's going nuts in the garden because of the weather right now. Everything grows beautifully in the garden here in Florida. Everything's starting to stand straight up. These are my radishes. They're starting to grow and get big. You can see they're all starting to stand up and grow radishes and just take off for me, get big. Their stalks are fattening up and we're going to be harvesting in no time. We've been getting beans off of this. This is almost spent, so what I'm going to do is wait for it to be done, and then I'm going to rip it down and plant some more. Probably going to plant some more beans in there and get some lettuce or some, I might plant some more sweet banana peppers in here. I have some seeds, so why not? Cottage garden, and I transplanted my little lettuce seedling in here from in the house. You can see they do really well when they're transplanted, and they like to be buried a little bit. This is cottage garden, just taken off, and I love this one. I don't know what it's called, but I can't wait for it to grow. I just got to weed everything today. I got to get in here. Look at all these weeds. And this is due to, one, all the moisture in the air and all the rain we've been getting. Two, which is good for my carrots, the moisture, but not good for succulents I have in the ground, which are getting big. These are calanchos, and my parsley. Parsley likes water, but not a lot. So the parsley's doing good since we transplanted, but the soil's staying really wet for a long time. And then it's drying out. So my watering has been so off because I don't know whether to water or to wait, because we might get rain and then we don't get rain, or we just get a little bit. So, you know, we topped off with our fresh compost. And when you do that, when you use your own homemade compost, just a little tip, you're going to get weeds. So make sure all these weeds, you pick them right away. Don't wait till they get big, because then they're going to start spreading seed. Pick them when they're like this small, if you can get out there. I've been slacking, so I have a lot of weeds out here. The weather's just been horrible, and I don't want to be outside when it's raining. So it's really easy to pick weeds when it's wet. You guys, if you water the soil first and then wait for your soil to be wet, these weeds will pull right up. You don't even need gloves, a shovel, or you can just take a hard rake, flip them all up, and then come in here and just take the weeds out of there. Jiggle the dirt off, and you're good to go. I'm going to get in here and do some chores, weed all around these, pull out what's dead. You always want to check your garden, pull out what's dead, what's not growing, like this. Look at this pea, actually. This is the one. Look how dead this is, okay? So look at that. It just pulled right out. Look at the roots. There's no roots. Look how yucky that is. It's all yellow. This is so yellow, this pea. Look at the roots. That is no good. You don't want that. It's not blooming. It's not growing. It's stalling out. It's yucky looking. Get rid of it. Keep these beautiful guys. Look at the ones growing. That is what you want. You want to keep those. Get rid of all the weeds. And when you put fresh compost down, you get weeds like crazy. Just so you know, once you start watering, you get tons of weeds. So just pull the weeds out, guys. Make sure your garden stays clean. If you live in Florida right now, make sure you're spraying on a preventative, because these bugs are nuts right now. Just a little warning. Carrots are getting big, and we're just going to be doing some chores around here. So I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching.